very fashionable word right now. There's these conferences, and it's now officially a research field. When you put that into PubMed, it's more than 16,000 hits. So there's way more information than you can ever digest. And the question is, what does all this mean clinically? It's always talking about the proprioceptive input of the fascia, and it's telling you where your body is in space. The physio work of Jill Cook and her colleagues tell us about tendinosis and fibrosis. Carla Stecco is always talking about the sliding interfaces of the fascia. And then we read that it's unstretchable, according to Chandri, so we can't change the length of it. So what does it do again? Oh, and then you look in Gray's and it's an adipose layer. Okay, so it's right from a layer of fat through all those other functions. So tell me what the function of fascia is. It's confusing, right? So we need another really simple way to think of it is that wherever there's regular dense connective tissue, there's almost always loose connective tissue in pockets around the regular dense connective tissue. Okay, so when that pocket of fat has a special wrapping around it, we call it a bursa, right? And it gets a special name in a purple color in the anatomy book. When it doesn't have a wrapping around it, what you're looking to do is figure out what combination of strain, sliding, and sensory is each technique made up of. So in some places it'll be just straight sliding. In some places it'll be mostly strain, and in some places it'll be mostly sensory. But the idea is if you can always be thinking about, is this more of a sensory thing that I'm doing, or is this more of I'm trying to change the strain transmission, so I need to do strong cross-fiber friction techniques, or is this a sliding, slippery, shearing technique that I'm doing, then it'll make what you're doing more effective. End of this squat. Yeah. As Kelly comes up. So if you watch her left knee, her pelvis rotates right at the end. There. See that? So she goes around to the left. Cool. Yeah. In this position, the left innominate is in a relative posterior tilt to the femur. So it's gone into an IPT, it's gone like this. And then come back up. It's still posterior, and it stays like that. And then she does one of those. Don't look at the screen. Okay. Can you let yourself go to where you normally do?
Oh. Wow.
Okay, so I just want you to see this. So slow motion. This is in slow motion. Yeah. Okay. So now we've got to figure out what's pulling her around into that position. Okay. It could be a driver somewhere else, or it could be a myofascial structure that's not lengthening enough to allow her pelvis to come up into that neutral position. So this really vertical portion is more like a hamstring, but when we get up here, so have a look at the angle of vagus here is totally different to the angle of vagus here. This is the part that's innervated by the sciatic nerve. This is the part that's innervated by the obturator nerve. There's a loose connective tissue pocket right underneath the glute max, and this one can slide fine. Then I'm going to compress a little bit and assess the ability of, right here is the adductor minimus, so that top portion of the adductor magnus, and then quadratus femoris is here, so assess their ability to slide. Here's a piece of connective tissue that forms the part of the back, part of the abdominal wall, going from the iliac crest up to the 12th rib.